This May, Kingstree, South Carolina becomes a place of remembrance and reflection. Join us for a powerful two-day commemoration marking the 60th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s 1966 call to march on ballot boxes. Together, we honor the past, examine the promise, and shape the future. Friday, May 8th and Saturday, May 9th, 2026. For more information, contact C. Williams Rush at 803-397-1859.
Good morning and welcome to the podcast. Let me start this morning off by saying the part about this meeting that you're looking at on the screen, and we're going to watch it together, that everybody keeps trying to solve it. Everybody keeps trying to rationalize it. One of the clearest things that came out of this meeting for me was the fact that the people of Georgetown County do not trust the district. And this is not a small statement. This is not hyperbole. This is not just emotion. This is not just public frustration, in my opinion. What it is an indictment on the leadership. Because Georgetown County School District has been under a federal desegregation order oversight for more than 5 decades now. That's 56. And after all that time, if the people still do not trust the district to be fair, equitable, transparent, and accountable on its own, then the question is not just whether the order should stay or go. The real question is, what has the leadership been doing all this time? And I'm not putting this all on one person. This is bigger than one superintendent. This is bigger than one board or chair member specifically. This is bigger than one vote, in my opinion. This is about the whole leadership culture in Georgetown County. Because a lot of the people sitting up there that you're looking at sitting up there right now, right? Most of these people didn't just arrive here in Georgetown County yesterday. Many grew up in Georgetown County. Many of them through the same school system that they have been elected to be over right now. So I'm saying this to say that many of them know the history. To the average person coming to this right now on Facebook, you had no idea the 1969 desegregation order. What is that all about? And they're trying their best to move right on past it. But this is, in my opinion, one of the factors in the disparities in Georgetown County. Most of these people, they know the history. They know the communities. They know the old school names. They know the stories. They know what Andrews was. They know what Rosemary meant. They know what Carver's Bay has. They know what Carver's Bay is about. Child feed. They know what Georgetown County is about. They also know what Waccamaw represents in the modern in this modern district. So if they know all of this history and they've lived through pieces of this history, some of them served in high levels in the district. So you were close to what was going on. You saw it. You've been there the whole time. And this is the point I want people to really latch in on. So if you know all of this history and you live through, again, a piece of this history, where is the vision? Where is the urgency? Where is the plan? And what I want you guys to do when we play this meeting, listen for these things. Listen for vision. Listen for urgency. Listen for a plan. Because growing up in a system should not make you comfortable with its failures. And by all of these board members raising their hands saying that they choose to stay under this system, they're admitting failure. And hey, while I was here, it didn't happen. Okay, well, tell us what happened that still got us there, because nobody's giving no real answer. Again, if you came through Georgetown County Schools, if you saw the inequities, if you heard the stories from the elders, if you watched communities fight for fairness, if you know what Black communities lost and what was promised, then how do you, as a leader on the school board, how do you still preside over a district that cannot clearly show people a path forward? We got to stop electing placeholders. We got to stop electing people who just, they dress well, they're polite, they don't say the wrong things, they don't offend anybody. How do you sit in these seats year after year and still end up in 2026 saying the district is not ready? How do you ask Black communities to keep being patient after 56 years? This is not just a policy issue. This is a moral issue at this point. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that every current board member created the problem. Of course, that'd be ridiculous. I'm not saying that every current administrator caused the failures of the past. I'm not saying that either. But once you accept the position, once you take the seat, once you raise your hand and do the oath, once you go ahead and ask people for their vote, once you agree to govern the education of children in this county or any county, you become responsible for what happens next. Bottom line. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can't love the fruit and hate the tree. You become responsible for whether the district moves forward or stays stuck in 1969. You become responsible for whether that old system gets challenged, which it obviously hasn't, or protected, which is, in my opinion, it is. And right now, for me, what the public sees, whether they know it or not, is a district still leaning on a 56-year-old structure while admitting directly or indirectly that trust, and you're going to hear it when I play this video, that trust has not been built. That's a problem. And these leaders, the position that they're taking up there, I'm gonna say some things that's gonna be very unpopular when we play this video, because all that posturing, the body language, awful. But let me finish up. Georgetown County has had too much get along with leadership. Too many familiar names, too many comfortable relationships. You know, it's not merit based. It's the same thing. I mean, you can't blame. I mean, the more I think about it, and I'm thinking about some of the hiring practices within the district, and you all know what I'm talking about. You can't sit and say, well, oh, the white people did it and it was wrong, and then you turn around and do it. I just went down another rabbit hole. I'm going down one in a few minutes. Too many comfortable relationships. Too many people who know the right rooms, know the right circles, and know how to keep the meetings calm. Because the meeting calm is not the same as educating the children. Keeping relationships intact is not the same as producing results. And the old structure in place is not the same as building a future. There's nothing innovative about that. There's nothing that says I'm weak more than saying, no, let's just have the federal government come over and do the job that I'm being paid very well, I might add, to do. The people we elect to school boards should not be people we know. They should not just be people who we're comfortable with. They should not just be people who are polite, familiar, and acceptable to the system. It should be people of vision. Just keeping score. The lady who was the other prospective candidate for Georgetown County School District was just featured a couple months ago for her excellent work in Hampton County by Governor Henry McMaster. Not that we're keeping score. And she was from Plattersville too, because that familiar thing works. Again, these should be people of vision, people of courage. People who can look at the district as it is and say, this is not good enough. people willing to make decisions that are good for the county, good for the school district, but may come off as unpopular. Maybe like that one lady is going to say in here, political suicide. We got to have some people who are willing to challenge these old habits, people willing to challenge their own friends, allies, and political comfort zones, because you cannot fix a broken system while trying to stay liked by everybody inside it. You cannot lead a county into the future if your main goal is to keep the same system in place. You just voted on it. I mean, you can't come from under this kind of federal oversight with a board that is more comfortable managing decline than demanding transformation. This is what this decision exposed. It exposed a trust problem. It exposed a planning problem. It also exposed a leadership problem. And it exposed a vision problem, because the district needs the order. They all voted on it. They all raised their hand and said, hey, we need somebody to make sure we do what we're supposed to do. We need to be compelled to do what we're supposed to do. If staffing equity is still a problem, say that. Because up there, everybody's saying everything is perfect. Oh no, we're doing everything right, and still vote to stay under that order. But you all see that in a second. You can make your own decision. I'm just giving you my opinion right now. If resources are still unequal, say that. If facilities are still unequal, say that. And I want you guys to listen for any of that in there. Now, you hear somebody say about the baseball field being built without consideration of the sun. But outside of that, we don't get into any real substance. It's real contentious. It's a black and white thing. The white people. Again, facilities are unequal, say that. And then one of the board members offered up that he didn't play baseball anymore when he was young because he got hit by a baseball. We'll see what that adds to the meeting too. But you got to keep voting for these people. So if certain schools are still being left behind, just say that. Don't try to dress it up. You know what I mean? Don't try to dress up the fact that you don't have a plan as responsible leadership. Bunch of words, talking in platitudes, in my opinion, because it's no substance. Don't ask the Black community to applaud patience when patience has already cost generations of children in Georgetown County. But we keep acting like it's not happening. I see that the Andrews Christian School is now going to 12th grade. I better consider that private education and look at what they got going on. Before long in Georgetown County, Y'all gonna be dealing with issues that it's right in your face, but y'all gonna be dealing with issues that is gonna really challenge y'all, and it's gonna be a mad dash to get your children in the Christian school or the Christian environment. This is why this conversation is bigger than the legal order itself, because the federal order is not the disease. The federal order is the symptom. The disease is lack of trust. The disease is lack of vision. The disease is lack of urgency. The disease is a political culture that keeps putting familiar people in power seats and then wondering why nothing bold or innovative is happening in the world where technology is just moving things forward light years ahead. And we're in Georgetown County still operating under a system from 1969. That's the hard truth. And yes, this is where voters have to look in the mirror too now. I'm responsible for voting in, campaigning for Ernie Cooper, who has lost his everlasting mind at this point, in my opinion. He's drunk with power. So we got to look at that too. We got to look in the mirror, because if we keep electing people with no vision, we'll keep getting visionless government, visionless school boards, visionless just whatever. If we keep choosing comfort over courage, and look at these people, a lot of them comfortable. And I had one lady in the corner, she's spinning. I love to talk to her. And if we keep putting people in office just because we know them, I'm guilty of it too. Like them that went to school, we like them, we went to school with them, worship with them, or see them around the town. We cannot act shocked when the system never changes. Local government is not a popularity contest. A school board seat is not a ceremonial chair. These are people making decisions that shape whether our children, your children, can read, compete, graduate, and build lives beyond Georgetown County. So the standard has to be higher. Putting these people on top, and they're good. They're good. That lift while you climb, you crazy. They up there, they got theirs. Better get y'all. We need board members who understand the past, but are not trapped by it. If that's the system that made you, why would you go against that system? We need leaders who respect history, but are not content to live under it forever. We need people who can look at Andrews, Carvers Bay, Georgetown, and Walkmont and say, every child deserves excellence. Not eventually, not after a study, not after, we correct some things, not after another 5 generations. Now, because this is the thing. When citizens say that they want the order to stay in place, what they're really saying is, we do not trust this district to protect equity on its own. That should shake the whole county. It should shake every board member. Every taxpayer should really be paying attention. Because if the people don't trust the local leadership after 56 years, then the local leadership has failed to earn that trust. Wouldn't you say that? And again, some of these people have been in this system their entire life. And that failure cannot be solved with another vague statement. It cannot be solved with another committee. It cannot be solved with another polished speech that draws applause. It can only be solved with a real plan, measurable goals, public accountability, and leadership that is willing to make hard decisions. So today, as we review this meeting right here that I'm about to play, I want people to listen differently. Don't just listen to for who you support, for who supports the order and who don't support the order. Because I've had to listen to it a couple different times, and it's remarkable how, to me, again, listen for vision, listen for urgency, listen for evidence that these leaders understand the weight of the moment. And I don't think that they do. Listen to whether anybody is willing to say, how do we build trust? How do we prove fairness? Here is how we fix staffing. Here is how we equalize resources. Here is how we protect historically overlooked communities. Here is how the district, here is how we're going to move this district forward without moving Black children backward, because this is what leadership should sound like. No excuses, no comfort, no delay. It's almost as if you forgot what that whole desegregation thing was about. Gotten too comfortable. Been full so long, you don't even know what hungry feels like. But let's get to this meeting here. That's what you want to call it. That's what it is. Let me stop being facetious. It's a meeting. It's a meeting of the minds. And this meeting took place on the 21st of this month right here. So let's get to it. And if you got a problem with my opinion, I really don't give it.
Action item list, the United States versus Georgetown County School District desegregation case. The board will discuss and also take action tonight in regards to the United States versus the Georgetown County School District case as presented. Will there be any discussions before we move to take action?
I would like to make a comment on the barring. Sure. Sorry, we're having more than one microphone issue.
Yeah, and what's the budget? What's the county paying to have this done? Because your audio video person is trash, right? Because these meetings are important and you don't get a lot of foot traffic in it. So the least you could do is, find a a proficient audio video person, somebody who actually knows what they're doing. But again, this is why Georgetown County is under a desegregation order in 2026.
So I move forward with this, hoping that I do not commit any sort of, political suicide.
And she's about to commit political suicide. This is Miss Fallon. She's over District 3. Now, I want you guys to listen to her say that she talked to some people out of District 3. I want any of the people out of District 3 that talk to this lady, please reach out to me.
But the first thing I would like to say is, I've met with several people regarding this throughout our community to hear other people. And I will say one lesson that I've learned being an elected official is that it's not about our opinions. It is about who we represent. So I have listened, I have heard, and just like I talked with somebody, I said I was born in 1988. I'm probably one of the youngest or the youngest board member up here. So there are going to be experiences that I have not had that other board members had. So I am going to say that listening to others and listening to what has been put on the table, I personally feel like we need to make sure that we gain trust. That I do not feel comfortable moving forward without feeling like the people that I am supposed to be representing do not have full faith in us. I have faith in Dr. Giles. I think that Dr. Giles has the right heart and is the right leader to pursue.
How
to correcting what needs to be corrected. But I can't.
All right, y'all, listen again. How do you believe in Dr. Giles? I'm confused here. Again, my smooth brain.
I think that Dr. Giles has the right heart and is the right leader to pursue correcting what needs to be corrected.
After 56 years, what gives you the confidence that what do you know that we, the public, don't know?
But I cannot. Personally, I feel like we need to make sure we move forward with the trust of the citizens of this county as we make our vote.
And in specific, Fallon Bordner, what trust issues did the people that you say you spoke to expressed? I'd be interested in knowing that. I think that information would be quite useful.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say a few things about that. As of last year, there were 3 school districts in the state of South Carolina that were currently under a desegregation order from the Department of Justice. That had...
He said 3 schools under that order, right? Let's see if that's correct.
Been reduced by, I believe, about 20 from, I believe, 2016. That being said, I think it's important to understand that an order doesn't make what we have to do on a daily basis any easier, any...
All right, and so for me, right there, the order doesn't make what they're doing. The order was in place for a reason, right? And let's listen to see if anybody talks about the reason why the order was put in place and why the order is still going to be voted on. Help me out, smooth brain.
Harder. We have to do the right thing regardless of the existence of the order. We have to put in work to make sure that we are building equity regardless of a desegregation order, okay?
And obviously you haven't put in this work, okay? You're saying that you're doing it, but you're going to vote for it. Y'all,
as Ms. Bordner has pointed out, Mr. Moore, Ms. Johnson and I, Ms. Kathy Anderson, went out and visited.
he's weak. He's weak. He's getting ready to say the same thing that the people don't trust Dr. Giles, but he's not strong enough to say it on his own. So he's got a coalition basically signaling that, hey, we've been talking and people say they don't trust Dr. Giles. Let's go.
The community and heard from the residents, heard from the people in the schools. I think, as Ms. Bordner's pointed out, it's important for us to listen to those who we represent and who are affected most by.
Come on, man. Say what you're going to say. This dude is weak.
The decisions we make here, okay? This has nothing to do with personal opinions.
It does have something to do with personal opinions. Otherwise, you would already say what the hell you were supposed to say right now.
Everything to do with making sure that we are doing the right thing and with what we can.
Now, didn't he start out by saying that despite, regardless of the order, they got to do the right thing?
Okay, so my vote will reflect that tonight.
Thank you very much. Any other? Ms. Patty?
I will share that as concerned as we seem to be, it would be, in my opinion, that we table this situation and that we wait to
56 years, and you got old Patty Hamill, for her lecturous tone, saying that we should just table this.
Heard from the people in the schools. I think, as Ms. Bordner's pointed out, it's important for us to listen to those who we represent and who are affected most by the decisions we make here, okay? This has nothing to do with personal opinions. It has everything to do with making sure that we are doing the right thing and with what we can, okay? So my vote will reflect that tonight.
Thank you very much. Any other? Ms. Patty?
I will share that as concerned as we seem to be.
As concerned as we seem to be. Are you saying, Miss Patty, that they faking up there?
It would be, in my opinion, that we table this situation and that we wait to see and we hear more about what needs to be done or not.
No, she's making sense right there now, because what are the problems?
Done, but I will tell you, there is not a school district in South Carolina that's more careful about hiring practices, about children moving from school to school practices. We have followed the letter of the law.
Obviously, in 1969, Patty, they wasn't following the letter of the law. And in 1997, when this came back up, according to one of the gentlemen who spoke earlier in this meeting, they weren't following the law. Let's keep it.
For as long as I can remember, with choice of children and parents, I do not think we can say to parents, you cannot move your child where you have daycare. We already have lost so many children in our district. And when we start making those large chunk decisions, because we're faced with this opposing of moving children, it's not because we're doing anything inequitable. It's because parents have places they work and need to take their children for daycare.
So the federal government's order be damned, is what you're saying, because the parents got the, I'm smooth brain.
Secondly, we have allowed children to exercise choice across our district very carefully all of the time. I can't tell you many children, I can't tell you any other than behavioral situations or attendance situations where we have said you've got to go back to your home school. So when we bring those roadblocks up, I want us to be aware we aren't doing those things for inequity. I was very concerned about certified teachers. I will tell you there are certified teachers in all our schools. We carefully place teachers in all of our schools. They have to meet the certification and they have to want to be there. A teacher that doesn't want to be in a school is ineffective.
Okay, so what, again, these little jabs and teacher that doesn't want to be in a school is ineffective. To me, that says that this is why the order is in place.
So we need to be very careful. We don't want moving teachers from school to school because a government entity tells us we have to move a teacher. We've seen that. It doesn't work. But I hear the concerns, but I will tell you, this district has hired highly qualified administrators, teachers, paraprofessionals, cafeteria workers, bus drivers, the folks staff. It represents our population as best this district's been able to do that. I don't want to leave anybody here tonight thinking that in our district that there are rooms for improvements.
In 1969, the federal government decided that there was a culture of segregation in Georgetown County, so they put in an order of desegregation. We're sitting here 56 years later, and she's telling us that everything in Georgetown County is perfect. I don't know what you guys are looking at. I don't want you thinking that we're doing anything wrong, but we're still going to vote to keep this order in place.
Where we haven't made them equitably across our district. So if there's...
And a lot of these folks lean right, they right-leaning Republicans. So that word equitable is like, that word hurts coming out of their mouth. But we'll play this game up here. Let's go.
Concern, I would suggest that we table this situation till we work those concerns out.
And just for the record, we've been sent 2 motions by our attorney, and I have no intention of kicking this can down the road any further. So what we'll do, we'll take a vote on the motion that has been presented to us by our attorney, and then if that results in us tabling, then we will. But my intention is that we're going to vote on this tonight. Mr. DeBose, you wanted to make comments?
I did. It seems to me the fact that DOJ is offering us the opportunity to get out from under this thing would say, to me anyway, that they, in all these years, haven't found evidence that we've been violating it. However, I would also say, obviously, and I go back to what several people have said about trust. There's certain.
Are you guys listening up here? Nobody's offering a solution. Everybody's talking about trust issues. The district has trust issues. The district has trust issues. So with the order, without the order, trust issues. Over 56 years, Georgetown County has not been able to develop trust, and let's just be straight up with it, Black communities.
Communities that do not trust the board to operate without this in place. So my vote will be to keep it in place. Just to show that we're worthy of that trust.
Any other comments?
No, I just feel like that we need to understand what points
Hey, what's up, Ms. Rotz? I don't know. I know your name's not Ms. Rotz anymore, but that's what it was when you taught me in English.
are in question. I mean, I realize that Ms. Hamill has been here the longest, and I take what she says very seriously, because
Oh my God, y'all, look at the body language of Miss, the lady in the chair. I don't know what she got going on.
if there is
She looks pissed.
evidence that we are doing wrong, I'd like to hear it, but I don't know of anything that we're doing wrong. Is there anything, Dr. Giles,
So
at the present that we are doing wrong that can't be corrected?
I don't know that it's doing wrong. I think there are objectives we have not satisfied.
Jazz.
Those are those green factors that we talked about. Staffing ratios was one order, as Ms. Patty alluded to. That refers to the highly qualified staff. Our staff needs to reflect the ratio of our community. We have satisfied measures such as with, as indicated, I'll say it like that, as indicated on paper, equity of facilities, transportation, those areas, but there are still some factors that haven't been satisfied. Now, what is being asked of us per our attorney is that the next step would be, if whatever the vote is, he will take this back to the DOJ. For them, in turn, they could still overturn and say that they will bring it from under.
All right, so what is the plan to get, to address these areas that are of concern?
Under the order, or that we will continue with more aggressive oversight. So it really is just, they are looking to us to see, when I say us, Georgetown County School District Board and staff, to determine our next steps and what we would like to see. And then they will bring forth a decision.
Well, how often do they do an inspection and get a report?
I can say under my tenure, that has not been happening. That we have not had oversight that has been very active. Let me say it like that.
All right, so, and again, so.
However, when I was in previous roles, there were visits. There was data that had to be collected and submitted. I do know that occurred while I was assistant as well as deputy. And then again, as principal, there were several visits in which we had to prepare for members of DOJ to come speak with community. Some of the communities here right now who were a part of those visits, community staff, students, and parents.
Was there anything at that time that was identified that we needed to do?
I think the key identifications were that we had not satisfied all of the areas, and that it was recommended that we continue, even though we received partial unitary status. That was a few years ago, we received partial unitary status, but we still don't have full, meaning we have not satisfied all indicators.
Okay.
I would like to add to that,
Thank you.
that some areas that we haven't satisfied, could be humanly impossible at this time in the economic and teacher vacancy situation in our country and our state, because there are not that many people in teaching. We're very fortunate to find educators that are certified in all these areas to meet these needs. And I would say that we are doing the very best we can to make those things happen. And again, I would also say to you,
So there's no problem, according to the Georgetown County Board,
that
School Board.
if we're not going to sit here and say to parents, sorry, you can't bring your child to X school even though your daycare's there, we're going to find ourselves not ever being able to meet some of those expectations that are not able to be met. I'm not telling us that this is one way or another, but I'm saying that the
You're not telling them, you're just suggesting it.
things that we physically and could do, we have worked very diligently to do, and following the laws of hiring practices and finding principals and administrators that work in a school well, we have done. We haven't moved a teacher from school A to school B because of X, Y, or Z. So we need to be very careful.
So again, none of this stuff has anything to do with the trust issue that you guys keep bringing up, you keep alluding to. We're going to have to explore this trust issue a lot deeper.
In our expectations, this has nothing to do with inequity. This has to do with our population and the availability of educators in the system to come to our schools. I'm very concerned at what perception is and what reality is for us.
And everybody's shaking their hand. She's concerned about what perception is and what reality is. Reality is that order was put in place in 1969 because there was a culture of this. Is that still the culture? This is what the question is right now. And if you believed so strongly that the culture, that we're beyond that, then how could you not express to your constituents? Because they voted for you to take lead on this, not to do exactly what you want to do. You want to do what the will of the people is. But if you feel that strongly, how are you not able to convince the people that you claim you were talking to with data, with data? Are you saying, because there's another word that keeps coming up in here where people be saying, well, people need to understand. And that's one of the things, is just kind of trying to say, well, it's too complicated for you. You just don't understand it.
And just to add, speaking about the green factors, but the green factors areas are student assignment, faculty assignment, transportation, extracurricular activities, and facilities. Certainly other areas can be considered as factors, which would include attendance zones, intra-district transfers. That's more what Ms. Hamill is speaking about. GT programs, gifted and talented, special ed, as well as disciplinary areas. But those are additional factors that could be considered. But the green factors are what I aforementioned.
Can I make one more statement before we move forward? I do agree. I heard the terminology today, kicking the can down the road, in regards to this. And I think that actually really does sort of surmise why we are at this point where we are. We weren't really receiving as much oversight per se, so it's kind of gotten out of everyone's, mindset. I would like to ask that after today, that we continue looking at this. And we, if we need to gain the trust of.
How is it her that proposes this? I mean, let's just be straight up, man. Like, why is the order in place? Why is the order in place? Why is it one of these?
The people of Georgetown County, I propose that we come up with a plan.
And she's making a great proposal. Don't get it twisted. I support what she's saying right here. Why can't we elect people that talk like this? Is what I guess I'm ultimately saying.
And we start showing them what we plan to do about it to address the concerns that they have. Because I do feel like we need to make sure we get out from underneath this. We need to make sure that we show that Georgetown School District is capable of moving forward. I personally feel like we need to, but I feel like we need to make this plan.
And you don't want to commit political suicide, so you're going to vote for it.
Not been really addressed. It's sort of been forgotten, and now it's time for us to.
And that's what Dr. Giles said, and this lady just listened to what she said and threw it back in her face. Because Dr. Giles was saying, well, they really wasn't checking on her, so everything is good. No, let's come from up under this order if it's all good.
To figure out how we're going to address it with, the people who live here and what their concerns are. And I agree with Ms. Hamill. There are perceptions, but sometimes perceptions are reality. And we have to work on helping people understand where we're at, what we're doing, and what our motives
Helping people understand.
are. Clarity, that's what my proposal is to this whole entire thing. If we are going to continue to take a vote, but I think we still need to revisit it, and we need to make sure that it's being addressed because we need to move forward.
Well, for me, I've heard the community for years. There's a lot of things that's out there that needs to be fixed, and
a lot of things like what? Stop with the vague. There's a lot of problems. Come on, man. You've been hearing. What have you been hearing specifically from the community? You've been getting voted in and doing nothing, bro. Come on, man.
some, once you let that dog out the gate.
Once you let that dog out of the gate. What dog? What kind of dog? Cane Corso?
A long time ago, it's hard to get him back in. And, but what.
Let me go back because that made no sense. I got to go back there. I like to hit nonsense.
Where we're at, what we're doing, and what our motives are.
Once you let that dog out of the gate.
Clarity, that's what my proposal is to this whole entire thing. If we are going to continue to take a vote, but I think we still need to revisit it, and we need to make sure that it's being addressed because we need to move forward.
Well, for me, I've heard the community for years. There's a lot of things that's out there that needs to be fixed.
A lot of things that's out there that needs to be fixed.
And some, once you let that dog out the gate a long time ago, it's hard to get him back in. And, but what we can do going forward, these things that most concerning to the community that we need to work on and make better, then we need to take some time here as a board and do that.
Now? You want to do that now? Why? Because it's the new hot trending topic? This is ridiculous. This is utterly ridiculous what I'm listening to right now.
Along with Dr.
I know it's not popular to criticize black politicians or black leaders.
Gals, and, come back to this, but we need to, I want to stay where we are right now and get it right.
Thank you very much. And in regards to the things that we have to be careful of, my understanding, we were in this 1969, again, 1997. Well, I hadn't seen things go awry as a result of. I think it is important to have public trust and not just.
What did he just say? I'm sorry, bro. Stop trying to use words you don't know how to use. Stop that.
A long time ago, it's hard to get him back in. And
Back in the cage.
but what we can do going forward, these things that most concerning to the community that we need to work on and make better,
It'll get me a
then
vote.
we need to take some time here as a board and do that along with Dr. Gals and, come back to this. But we need to, I want to stay where we are right now and get it right.
Thank you very much. And in regards to the things that we have to be careful of, my understanding, we were in this 1969, again, 1997. Well, I hadn't seen things go awry as.
Things go array? Or is he trying to say things go awry? Like, stop, bro.
As a result of.
And he'll be mad at me because
I think it is important to have public trust.
really, that's a novel idea.
And not just trust, but just be real about what we can see. Let's talk about what we can see.
What can we see? There you go. Now you get to the meat and potatoes. Tell me what you can see.
And when I spoke about this a couple of meetings ago, I can name things that Carver's Bay area schools still don't have that other schools have.
See, that's what you got to do right there, bro. So you're saying that, he's saying that Georgetown County is still discriminating right there beside the dang on superintendent. Let's go.
So there is some things that we need to be mindful of far as not being having oversight.
Okay. So having the oversight means you're going to get these things?
Because, listen, it is what it is. We're the only one who don't have those high school sports engines.
We who? Carver's Bay, predominantly black schools, that's what you're trying to say? You stop saying we. We who? We Georgetown County?
The only one, the baseball field turned backwards with the sun's blinding our kids. It's just a list.
That's a matter of contention right there. Sound like somebody said a little something there. Baseball fields turned backwards.
Carver's Bay area schools still don't have that other schools have. So there is some things that we need to be mindful of far as not being having oversight. Because, listen, it is what it is. We're the only one who don't have those high school sports engines.
So how is oversight gonna help and you still getting this oversight? Like, help me now. If your argument is that, well, it's better to have it in place, it's still not working. So
the only one, the baseball field turned backwards with the sun's blinding our kids.
And that's why Carver's Bay can't win region right there, is because the sun is blinding.
It's just a list of things that I can point out that we are the only school.
You gotta point them out, bro. You can't just keep saying there's a list of things. What is the list of things?
Area that don't have these things. So there is something still there. I don't make these decisions.
There's something still there. He's saying that there's discrimination still there. There's some form of segregation still there. Am I understanding this like this or no?
Or my conclusions politically. I don't. No. It's what I see. And what I see is we still have some things that need to be addressed. We can go over and over again. Yes, there are some things that we...
Come on, bro. You on the board. Dr. Gallus just said that the DOJ has not been coming into schools for some time now. Think about what was just said. And now she said earlier that they hadn't been there in years. The other lady said, well, maybe that's why things got sloppy. And here this guy is telling us about a list of things. Okay, so as a board member, what did you do to correct these things? Would you just copy them down and keep them in a convenient list to bring out every time you want to? Come on, bro.
We've fixed, but there's things that still hasn't been fixed. Let us fix all of it before we take it into consideration from the oversight.
And that drew a round of applause.
And Mr. Moore, just to add to the baseball situation.
Mr. Moore, okay, you about to say some profound stuff now. Let's go.
Now, I've been here 10 years. Only till you got in here.
You've been on the board for 10 years. And he's getting ready to say only until he got there that he understands anything about the baseball situation.
Here is when I heard about that field being an obstruction to a baseball.
I'm gonna tell you, I was at a meeting, one of the first meetings that I went to. I don't know if I heard. I don't know that I may have listened to that one online. But anyway, it was Councilmember Bob Anderson, and he was talking about when he first got on county council and how at the time the county supervisor or county commissioner, I don't know what the title is there, but was Sel Hemingway. And he said that Sel Hemingway put him in a car, in a vehicle, and they went to every part of the county. They went on a tour of the county, right? And so that always stuck with me because I think as a politician, okay, yeah, you might be over district such and such and such and such, but you know, all these districts are interwoven. So understanding the county as a whole to me helps. I'm sorry to go that far, but my point being is that this man just said that he was on the school board for 10 years, and he's just now hearing about the situation about the baseball field from this gentleman right here. Ridiculous.
That I can point out that we are the only school area that don't have these things. So there is something still there. I don't make these decisions or mock conclusions politically. I don't. Yeah. It's what I see. And what I see is we still have some things that need to be addressed. We can go over and over again. Yes, there are some things that we've fixed, but there's things that still hasn't been fixed. Let us fix all of it before we take it into consideration from the oversight.
And Mr. Moore, just to add to the baseball situation, now I've been here 10 years. Only till you got in here is when I heard about that field being an obstruction to a baseball player.
Yeah.
Now listen to this part.
And I mean, if it is, trust me, I didn't play baseball as a kid because I got hit by one day.
We're talking about an order put in place because of segregation practices in Georgetown County in 1969. And this is what this man has to offer to this forum. He's speaking to his voter base. Y'all better get smart.
And I did not want anything to do with it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a real safety issue. And whatever it is, let's get it right.
So if everyone
just whatever it is, let's get it right. So as it stands, guys, listen, this order is going to be voted on because the baseball field is turned backwards. Unless you guys heard something else.
there's no other comments.
I don't know if I can
There's rods.
say this properly. My brain's kind of all over the place here. But there's part of me that says we need to come out from under, but the other part is, and I know that we've been doing things, and I remember teaching and people being moved and the new school, and I keep calling them new schools from 25 years ago, and new schools being built and that sort of thing. But we're saying that there's still things that aren't right. And if we haven't done those things, and if we come out from under, and not that we don't want it to do, because, I mean, we're in charge now. We can't go back and say, well, the people before us didn't do it.
Thank you, Ms. Rod.
We've got to move forward. So I don't even know if I'm saying this right. I'm just concerned that if we come.
The audio video person for Georgetown County School District is trash. Now, I apologize if this is something that you got a student doing, but if you're paying somebody to do this is completely trash.
Out from under that, I think.
Who's speaking? How do you guys know who's speaking? This is a video recording that, again, it's not like this person doesn't know the meeting is going to happen. It doesn't. I mean, you should have your lower thirds, your graphics set. You should have your cameras already set, because I see that they're PTZs, right? And you could pre-program them to be set. And it's just trash. It's garbage. It's substandard. It's typical of Georgetown County.
And I don't want to blame anybody, but I'm thinking that then we're
Blame somebody, Ms. Ross.
not going to follow through. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, I mean, I know I want to follow through. I know we want to follow through. And is it one more oversight? If somebody's sitting there, it's just like a kid. It's just, I can talk about teaching. If somebody doesn't say, do this right now, okay, I'll get it done later.
Okay, there you go. So they're saying that they got to have oversight over Bethany. Dr. Giles, they're saying you're not going to get it done. So we got to keep it on you.
So I don't know. I'm not feeling very comfortable voting tonight, but
we're going to make a decision tonight, one way or the other.
We're going to make a decision tonight, one way or the other.
We're through discussing. Mr. Cox has two motions that was sent down by our attorney. What he'll do, he'll read one of the motion, ask for a show of hand, and then he'll read the second motion and ask for a show of hand, and we'll know where we are as far as moving forward. So if we're prepared to do so, Ms. Cox, are you prepared?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Being that this is 57 years old, since 1969, before we take an actual raise of hands, and let me make it clear, a raise of hands will be a yes. A no raise of hand will be a no. Let's 57 years, we need to get this right, okay? So what I'm going to do, first of all, Mr. Chairman, is okay, I would like to read both motions so everybody's crystal clear, okay?
That lower third is trash. It's not even a lower third.
Okay. Then I'd like to come back, read them again, and then take a vote, if that's okay.
They're paying people to do this shit.
That'll be fine, yes.
Okay, all right. So motion number one reads, I move that the board authorize the board's attorney in conjunction with the legal counsel for the United States Department of Justice to take the necessary steps for seeking a declaration by the federal court of the district's unitary status and for a
Fallon, sit still, man. You damn bothering me with all that back and forth. Like you just can't control yourself.
Dismissal of the action United States versus Georgetown County School District, which was originally filed January 15th, 1969. That will become a motion to dismiss. Motion number two, I move that the board at this time.
Wait. God damn. They're reading this important thing, right? Guys, look at this. They're reading a document. So everybody up there who's voting on the document should be paying attention. Watch in this part of the screen over here. Randy Walker, in the middle of this, reaches for the hand sanitizer because nothing says I'm paying attention like.
Which was originally filed January 15th, 1969. That will become a motion to dismiss. Motion number 2, I move that the board at this time remain.
I'm sure it took this man all of 2 minutes, 3 minutes to read these damn motions. Does he need clean hands to raise his hand? What the hell?
Which is the key word here, under the current desegregation orders and the action United States versus Georgetown County School District. And not in any particular order, I'm going to go ahead and move with the first motion if we're ready.
Yes, sir.
All right, motion number 1, I move that the board at this time remain under the current desegregation orders in the action United States versus Georgetown County School District. I'm going to call for a raise of hands, which will be a yes to remain. No hand will be no. I'll take a motion to remain under the current desegregation orders, United States versus Georgetown County School District. Can I have a raise of hands for a yes to remain?
Unanimous. You freaking unanimous. We'll be back.
Get ready, Andrews. The Andrews Heritage Festival is coming October 31st. A day filled with community, culture, and celebration is on the way. Big energy, great people, and unforgettable moments. Save the date now and get ready.